This is IMT News.
देखती आंखों सुनते कानों, आपको रक्षंदा जाहिद का सलाम। आप देख रहे हैं IMT न्यूज फ्रॉम लंदन। यूनिवर्सल मेमन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की जानिब से 8 मार्च 2026 को जूम नेटवर्क पर खवातीन के आलमी दिन के मौके पर एक खुसूसी ऑनलाइन प्रोग्राम का इनेकाद किया गया। इस प्रोग्राम में दुनिया भर से 50 से ज्यादा खवातीन ने भरपूर शिरकत की और माशरती तरक्की में इनके किरदार पर तफसीली गुफ्तगू की। आइए देखते हैं ये रिपोर्ट। और इस वक्त हमारे साथ फैमिली फिजिशियन है डॉक्टर सुमेरा जबी। तो मैं उनको दावत दूंगी, प्लीज आइए डॉक्टर सुमेरा, आप भी अपने ख्यालात का इजहार कीजिए।
हमारे पास एक दूसरी स्पेशल गेस्ट भी यहाँ पे मौजूद हैं। मैं उनका इंट्रोडक्शन इस तरह से करवाऊंगी that it's truly an honor to introduce a personality who leads her life with distinction. Leads with distinction in both her professional and personal life. She is beyond her professional life, she is a mother, she is a proud daughter, and she is also a proud wife, setting an example in every aspect. She is truly an inspiration, who is none other than Rida Sharif, an experienced producer with over a decade of experience with global brands organized and also an artist. She's leading two successful ventures, one Ecoic and the other one is Viclor. So over to you, Rida, if you can please say a few words and share your insights or share your inspiring journey, it will be an honor.
Thank you so much for that introduction. I was not expecting myself. But yeah, thank you very much. I'm very humbled to be here. And it's kind of, it's a huge privilege to be amongst women who, are leading the way in their own ways, actually. And, there have been times that I'd actually like to start off by speaking about my journey, how everything has been in, working in media when I started out 12 years ago. And often it has always been like a journey from the technical side of things, that the industry is very demanding. We have long hours, complex, problem solving things that we always had to do. But, shuru se hi, from the earlier on stage, being, just the look of you are a woman, you are, you're a certain size, or you look like a kid compared to the other men in the room, there has preconceived kind of perceptions हमेशा से होती थी कि can she do this, can she do that? And there were times when I even used to say, okay, maybe I should just put my CV on my forehead so that, people know what I'm capable of. But it was every step of the way where I had to prove myself over and over and over and over again. Just because there was these, a lot of the women, and at that time, it was not very common to be in technical side of filmmaking. But yes, there was always this thing inside of me that, there should be resilience. Is okay. I will keep going and keep proving myself. But yeah, in that journey, I have met, जैसे हम लोग भी बात कर रहे थे ना, some mentors, some male figures in your life that kind of change the game for you morally as well, because then you learn a lot from them as well, and you get that kind of strength from them कि हम लोग आगे बढ़ सकते हैं. Because in the outside world, when you go out in an ugly big bad world, you see the real ugliness in the world of what men are doing. So it's very important to have such male figures in your life, whether your husband, your brothers, or your dad. So that was like briefly how I started out as a media professional, and I kept going for a few years. And then later on, I shifted towards, in a way, because I was fed up of following the rules of employment and everything else. That's how I started then as a businesswoman. And I launched two of my businesses, and one is a content studio, and the other one is a lifestyle brand. But in that, you start off and you think you're going to have more control, but it was kind of way worse than, being under a team. So now you're suddenly exposed to even uglier part of the world because you lose security as a woman. And there are no rules, there are no terms and conditions. Mainly there are not, because if you don't present yourself, basically if you're not really legally protected, and you don't have a senior person on HR looking after you, and you have to have all these implications by yourself, then it becomes very difficult. It was even more difficult to prove yourself again, over and over again. But yes, I have met a lot of people in my journey that have been, good and bad, and they've been blessings and obviously a lesson as well. There have been some women that, the technical challenges that we are still facing. I met another female filmmaker last month and we worked on it together. But it was still very shocking to me that after 12 years, I could see her leading the same journey as me. And I was a bit shocked and saddened to hear that she, even after 12 years, or even after, 8 to 12 years, I would say, she was in my position and facing the same thing as me. And she was practically crying. And I could see myself in her. And I was so shocked to see that's still happening today. And but it at the same time it felt empowering to come together. I could teach her something, she could teach me, and I feel like collectively we are way more stronger if you're leading the same journey, because no one else will guide you. There are always going to be boy gangs. There's going to be a lot of things that are going to come in your path where no one is going to teach you, and you'll have to figure things out by yourself, because naturally as women we are programmed, हमें ऐसा हो जाता है कि we are naturally emotional. We think through our heart. We don't make, most of the women, they don't make necessarily emotionless decisions unless हम लोग गिर पड़ के we rise into that educational level या फिर mental maturity. So that's what I really do appreciate. And in my experience, I feel like women have so much potential. हम लोग अडाप्ट कर सकते हैं, ट्रबल शूट कर सकते हैं, we can lead teams, we can practically do so many things, multi-dimensional things. But yes, we need to have more voice and we need to have more support. Even in the entrepreneurship wali landscape mein, I'm not sure whether a lot of people are up to date with female entrepreneurs rising within the last previous 5 years. But the media attention that we are getting as well, and the scrutiny that we get from the British media is not very supportive, as opposed to, males entrepreneurs who are founders, and they're practically doing the same thing, but we are not questioned. They are not questioned on the price. They are not questioned on the systems, or even, the boundaries, that if we don't want to answer you after hours, we don't want to answer you, that kind of thing. And there is always a room in, for, because it's a male dominated field, that we are non-stop pushed. And I feel sad to still learn कि अभी, I mean, जो हमारे hundreds of thousands of years से जो औरतें struggle कर रही हैं, अभी भी the perception I feel is the same. A lot of the men, they still don't respect us. We have to fight for the respect, and it's a bit sad क्योंकि you would think कि अब जाके ज़माने में हमें थोड़ी बहुत equal humanity वाली respect थोड़ी बहुत मिल जाएगी, and that we don't have to be bold and harsh and cruel to get respect. Why can't we be ourselves? And we have to adapt to these ways to do so, to get some kind of respect, which is still, I feel like, a big question to ask to the society, what's going on. And ओवरऑल आई फील लाइक ए वुमेन, जैसे मैंने कहा कि हम लोग बहुत रिजिलियंट हैं, हार्ड वर्किंग भी हैं, हम लोगों में बहुत सारी एबिलिटीज़ हैं टू लीड अथॉरिटी के साथ ही, बट या हमारे वर्क आई फील still needs to be more recognized, and there still needs to be a lot of you know places where, even if there are institutions, I feel like in practice there is always this underline of doubt first, and I'm not sure why. So it's always good to um, have collective support of all the women, but even male counterparts that understand the journey and everything else. But my whole take for this is as well that if you put your mind through it, regardless of your gender, it should not stop you, and you should just go for it. And there will be so many struggles that you will encounter as a woman. It could be personal, professional, emotional, physical, mental. But that's what I feel like it's unmatched and that's what sets us apart as well. And Islamically speaking, I would say there is a reason why a woman has been given such high regard in eyes of Allah as well, because He knows the strength. And that's how I would like to close this. That, keep going and keep doing and keep supporting each other and celebrating each other, because if we don't voice each other, no one else will do it for us.
Rakshanda Zahid, IMT News, London.